Hey guys, Big Chonas here. You guys can follow me on Twitter. I am at Big Chonas. These are all my best ideas. I take technical analysis very seriously. I'm a crypto trader, an investor, a mentor, a chart psychologist. Please do your own research. All right, let's get right into it. Looking at Bitcoin Cash, okay, big winner so far. Now, a couple things going on here. We have this fork that is scheduled to take place, I believe, November 15th. So right here. So we still have several days between now and then to see this price action in Bitcoin Cash continue. Now, where we are currently hitting around 578 area, you can clearly see that's where we wicked off previously in September there. Let's see right here. We can see we got just above it and actually wicked off pretty strong there, and that was our topping area there. We also can see a cluster of previous price support history that was resistance, bull break, and then quickly that fell through here. So lots of history right in the area we are currently at. Now this bullish pop has blown through several of our there we go. Several of our EMAs, MAs, just blown them right out of the water, and of course blew through our upper Bollinger Band. We are way outside our upper Bollinger Band here. Now note how tight our Bollinger Bands were the past couple days here. So I'll give some deference to being able to be outside of our upper Bollinger Band just because of how tight we are here. This move will obviously spread these guys out here. Just the fact that we are so over our upper Bollinger there, just got to keep that in mind about specific entries you might want to take in this, because you can see a lot of this if you will, kind of easy money has kind of already been made here. We're up over 30, almost 40% here in our price action here in just 3 days. So that's just still a mega move here. Let's see what our indicators are telling us. So our daily RSI just blew through all of our recent resistance areas. We're now way up here, and we're talking about this area that we experienced the last time we had this bullish kind of push back in April. And we can see this cluster here on our RSI shows that when we get up into this area, this above 70 area here, we actually get quite bullish, and we can stay up here for a little bit of time. We can get as high as 83, and that was actually our most recent top off area on our daily RSI. Something to keep in mind if we actually do get to these areas here. We see we kind of found some support, resistance kind of bounced around here, and this was coinciding with our very bullish April moves here that just shot this thing up. Remember, we got higher in terms of the price in early May when we were actually losing our momentum in our RSI. So just because our RSI might be consolidating does not necessarily mean the price has to go down with it as well. So we're back in this area here, and look at our first resistance kind of coincides with where we actually topped off last time, right here at 76. And look at that, we are right there right now. So this area here marked the ending kind of our bullishness here in terms of our RSI pattern. And you can see we're just hitting it right there on the dot one more time on our daily RSI indicator. Bam. Now our Stoke shot up here. Still have a little bit of running on them as we wait for our trailing indicator to catch up and get back to our 100 area. Still, look at our 100 area. We haven't been up this high since May as well, when we actually did our top off here in April and May. So very similar pattern here. We're once again hitting that upper 100 area for the first time. Haven't gotten this bullish since way back in the April-May area there. This move has brought our MACD breaking bullish on our leading indicator above our zero line, still negative on our trailing indicator, and a very nice pop in our histogram as well, with room to run. Now our chalk and money flow really brought in a lot of money in this move here, and again, we want to see what happened last time we were actually in this area. So right now we can see this cluster here of chop is once again showing an area where we actually found resistance on this area, but that was only after we shot up even higher and got to our 0.46 on the daily. So definitely still room to run there. But you can obviously see we're hitting our very first area of major resistance on our chalk and money flow. You can see this area was unable to get back above it and proved to be very strong resistance as we came down. Now basically retesting this area on the chalk. And looking here at our squeeze momentum, nice green bullish histogram here. We were so tight there, kind of coming up, coming up, coming up. We put in our first very big green histogram here, and that coincides with what we've been seeing here. Now we can say from a date time perspective, we tend to do something like 15 up, and so 2 weeks up, 3 weeks down. That kind of our most recent pattern here. So we'll see if we kind of put something similar in this. Remember, if this fork is happening on the 15th, we still have like 10 days more in this potential price action to see this bullishness here. And so that's Bitcoin Cash. Definitely an amazing move here on this fork. Not really much of a rumor anymore, but basically having Binance agree to go through with it and honor the fork has definitely brought in this big move here, and we're basically seeing this spread out through some of our other major coins in crypto. Now let's get off of this here. Let's go right to Bitcoin here. Let me go to my Coinbase chart here. Okay, so got a couple things in note here. Remember, we are still ranging all this time. How long have we been in this $6,400 range? Remember, for weeks, basically, we were caught in this area all through October, basically topping off around 64.70, finding support around 63.70, and kind of in that $100 range. And once again, we are there in that area where we had found that ranging consistently there. So even though we were able to get back up here from our most recent bear break, we're still kind of in this similar pattern here. And this pattern keeps on telling us what? Keeps on telling us really up to 64.90, maybe 6,500, we'll just call it, on the USD exchanges. Oops. Has been very strong, consistent resistance when we get up there. So a move outside of this range on Bitcoin would be tremendously notable, being able to break through here. Now we're currently finding that resistance right on our MA50, again on the daily chart here. We're able to break through our middle Bollinger, our EMA 12, or EMA 26 here. We see our EMA 55 around 64.67, and our upper BB are 64.87 here. So still some running room if Bitcoin wants to find that momentum. Again, volume still not blowing our socks off here. We can see our RSI. Now, this is notable. Remember, this line of resistance had held. We're putting in lower lows consistently in our RSI. And we're breaking through there. We are breaking through, and we are above 50 on the daily RSI. And I'm talking about 50 a lot, about that area where we really want to break through. Because when we get up there and are able to break through it, we find these areas where we actually can get very bullish in the price of Bitcoin once that 50 area is basically achieved, surpassed, and held. So once again, we're kind of see if we can keep this momentum going, because if we are, we can definitely get some more bullishness into the market. Remember, relative strength index. So the strength of this is important. The height of this is important. The higher this goes, the more bullish you can get on Bitcoin. So this is a good start, but we're still, I'm looking really at our last top off here, our last area where we found our strong rejection. That's at the 55 area on the daily chart. So we're currently at 52.5. We got a little more running room here, but a bigger move to me would basically being able to break this 55 area. Otherwise, we're still putting in lower lows until we can break out of that area on the RSI. Look at our Stoke here. I mentioned previous videos, putting in higher lows, putting in lower highs. Still, that trend continues, and still got a little bit more movement left in this move here to get us just up here. Looking for another tap of this green line, holding that lower high situation. Of course, the break of this will be notable. I'm very bullish for Bitcoin. Looking here at our MACD, I'm going to get rid of some of these bars here. And just a couple things here still. Very slight bull cross here, very slight one bullish histogram here. We really didn't have any very nasty bearishness here. That little bearish pop or drop, I say, in Bitcoin that happened last week. and not do too much to our histogram and or our indicators, and currently crossing bullish there with just a little bit of a bullish candle there as well. OBV, so we've been watching this pattern play out, trying to break the lower highs here. And what I'm watching is right there, because we are right on it. This was our previous top. Okay, we've been putting in lower candles since then, and a break of this area would definitely be notable if we are actually able to get above that. And when we start talking about putting in higher lows versus lower lows and other areas up higher that we beginning to want to get to, checks this area here, and of course this area here. So still some ways to go. This is the first big test here. Definitely want to get above this area right here on the daily. That would definitely be notable. An area of resistance can then be turned into an area of support. Looking here at our OBV, now we have been very surprised by how low this had gotten over the past couple days as we got into the end of October here. This bullish push here we had was able to get us back, and look at that, we are actually roaring above our zero line here. And getting back, let's just see where we are right here. So we're hitting this guy right here. Not a ton of history in this area here, you know, a little of this, a little of that, but we definitely see if we can get a little higher up there, we definitely have some running room in our chalk and money flow. Now, this is a big indicator in terms of actual real money coming into the market here, into the price of Bitcoin. Otherwise, this continued lower highs pattern is still in play, and basically getting out above this line and basically potentially retesting this line would be a very interesting thing to keep an eye on here, because lower lows, lower lows, lower lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, finding that support there, and kind of allowing that to run. We're able to get above this pink resistance line. We hit here, we hit here, we hit here. We broke through it. We back tested it and held that support. I love a good back test to basically confirm what was once a resistance is now actually a support. And boom, currently finding that money flow still flowing in. So, looking for Bitcoin, looking for Big Daddy here to basically see if we can kind of find this bullish momentum across the board and see if we can pull some of this bullishness out of Bitcoin Cash and throw it into Bitcoin here. Currently, we're still flagging off of this very nice volume spike we had a couple of hour, 2 hours ago that brought us, you know, almost $100 up very quickly. Now we're just consolidating there, consolidating bullishly. Absolutely, just got a little ahead of our skis there, outside of our upper BB there. Also watching our RSIs on lower time frames here. You know, we got a little hyper there, 94 on the 15. Obviously, we're going to see that pull back, so definitely some consolidation here. But, you know, right now the market's feeling pretty good about itself, and that Bitcoin Cash move continues to bring money into the market. Look at a few other things here, looking at Litecoin. Similarly, when Bitcoin is able to run, we definitely see Litecoin finding some momentum as well. We've been consolidating for a very long time, and I want to go back to our daily here and talk about, you know, where we've been bouncing around with Litecoin so much here. We basically had found our bottoming in August at around 49, hit another lower low in September at 47.12, 47.19. And then here we were actually able to put in a higher low, 47.34 and 47.60. So by pennies, still holding that higher low just barely here. Bollingers are very tight, and we're actually finding that current resistance on the EMA 55 with a price action above our upper Bollinger. Now, these BBs are tight, but they're not crazy tight. So I would not give as much deference on this move. It just says Bitcoin Cash move, which actually the BBs and that seem to be a heck of a lot tighter. So currently outside our upper BB and wicking off right at the EMA 55. Remember, if Bitcoin can continue its bullishness, I would expect Litecoin to do the same on low to moderate volume. Same thing there. Our RSI is spiked up to about 57 area. Now, this is notable in this area, at least the last time. That's actually where we found our resistance on our daily RSI, right in this 57 to 58 area here. So once again, we're hitting that. We can get through that. We definitely see how much higher we can go and where that can actually take us. Actually, I wouldn't refer to that. That was our major December push. But after that, I definitely see we can get something around here, which is what we were able to break bullishly in our April-May push here. So once we get out through here, this would be our next area to test, somewhere between the 62 to 65 region there on our RSI. All the other indicators very similar to what I have in Bitcoin there, our chalk and money flow. Once again, finding this confluence here at our zero line. And we're still not above our zero line, just as Bitcoin is able to get above that zero line. So still not there yet, but having room to run. We see when we get above that zero line, we definitely see where that kind of price action can take us. So definitely seeing some bullish push here using Bitcoin Cash as kind of a catalyst here. And, a lot of profits have been made on that guy. So we're definitely see that being spread, some of our majors here as well. We also see Tether is basically almost back to a 1-to-1 ratio to the dollar. But we're still seeing that slight arbitrage differentiation in price between our USDT and our USD exchanges. Looks like we're about $50 arbitrage still from that price action. Now, very important here. So many people have been loading shorts in Bitcoin Cash for the past couple days and kind of getting wrecked. I mean, people started loading down here, and then we just had another $100 move in Bitcoin Cash. So this is still quite poppy and still loading. People are loading shorts still. Those who haven't basically been wrecked, been liquidated, had their stops hit. Loading of the shorts continues. Loading of the longs, where are we here? Has kind of paused out. Look at that. We were way higher kind of earlier in our day here, and just a lot of profit. A lot of profit was taking on that long contract there very recently. So that's interesting. We're basically seeing not a lot of fall through there on that. The biggest one we keep watching here is our Bitcoin shorts. They are just plummeting. It's the 4 hour here, and we compare that to what we're seeing here on our Bitcoin longs. Thank you very much. Let me go to our 4 hour on our longs, and we continue to see this kind of consolidation, this bullish consolidation pattern here. We're not moving up too crazy here as our shorts have fallen off so precipitously, and we're very close here to getting much more in par with our open contracts. Shorts 22,000, longs 23,000. So for a while, shorts were way higher, in the high 30,000s in terms of open contracts. Now we're much more in line and not too crazy extreme in terms of our separation with our shorts and our longs. And listen, our shorts are very oversold here. We're super low. Look at our 4 hour RSI. Okay, is that 3? I mean, are you kidding me here? I don't know how much lower we can go. Our daily RSI is at 24. Never been lower. Okay, so I don't even see this as a comparison between longs and shorts. I just see this as an amazing comparison between how low the shorts really are. Boy, they have sold off here. Now, when Bitcoin rises, you would expect some shorts to basically begin to start adding into that. Right now, we're not seeing any sign of that. Let me go in real tight here and see if we're seeing any change. No, the shorts just keep on selling off, selling off, selling off. So the extremes are there. I mean, especially this 4 hour RSI is just nuts. 4. The 4 hour RSI is at 4. Wow. We had been as low as 7, 6, 11. Now we're at 4. So, from a technical standpoint, this just has to find some support at some point and begin to load up once again. Definitely not seeing anything like a short squeeze, way outside of our lower Bollinger there, and looking for some sort of a stability. And all you got to really do is kind of do a horizontal thing and see where we were previously, finding support here when we actually had that nice bounce. And they actually see we're getting closer to there. We definitely have a little bit more running room bearishly right there. But we have a little bit more running room potentially to get to that support test right around 21,000 contracts, which is where we hit in August and proved a very nice support for our short contracts to then begin to rise from that. Real quick here, looking at the coin market cap. Let me just refresh my page here, kind of see what's going on, what kind of actual money flow we have coming in. So we see Bitcoin dominance dropped a little bit because a lot of money is being flown into other altcoins. 24-hour volume, 13 billion. That's increased. Market cap 209, a moderate increase. You know, our volume is still pretty tepid with Bitcoin here. We're at the low 4 billions. We've been hovering in the mid threes to high threes for such a long time here. Market cap still holding around 110 billion. Nothing too crazy there, nothing too movement. We definitely see our move in Bitcoin Cash, 20% over the past 24 hours. Litecoin, nice one. Cardano as well, nice one. Dash, a little bit of a pop there. And then our Bitcoin counterparts are Bitcoin Gold. And what else is having a nice day? Anything else really sticking out here in our, our top 50 coins? So we're definitely see some of our bigger cap coins. Yeah, up to 100. Nothing crazy until we get more into our top 15, top 10 coins here, when we're actually seeing that really nice money flow flowing into the markets. Let's see here. So let's go back to Bitcoin and take a look at it one more time. This will probably be a good place to wrap. Once again, happy Sunday to everybody. Thank you for joining me on this quick update here. We're watching Bitcoin here, and let me just go back to Bitcoin Cash because we're still seeing. I mean, who's sorting this here? Who has the cojones to basically short this when we know we're still 10 days out from this fork, right? And once again, this move here, we are just getting crazy profitability. Once we had that little dip right there, I'd say I put it about right there, over a 40% move here and still climbing. We are now at another high here, breaking that 580 area. I'm on the Coinbase chart here, but still just rocking it up. And look at this volume bars here, just super solid volume bars are still coming in. So there's a wealth effect definitely happening here. And we're going to see when this levels out, or we can see a lot of this money flow into other coins, Bitcoin especially. That's the one to keep watching here. Remember, we're looking for continuation in the Bitcoin there. We're definitely still flagging and consolidating, still pretty bullishly here in this move, getting ourselves back into our upper Bollinger Band. So I think that's a good place to end it. Definitely keep an eye on these coins here and see how we end the day. Oh, and just one more thing here. Not only are we ending the day, but we're also ending the week. This is Sunday. We're putting in another weekly candle. Take a quick look at to kind of what it looks like right now. And kind of interesting. So we're definitely green here. It'd be nice to put in a nice little hammer here. Wouldn't close above 650, 6450 higher area there. That would be just a gorgeous looking hammer here. Definitely want to bullish and go for a previous week there. But still, we are in this range here. We're still ranging and we're still finding our major EMAs, our middle Bollinger, acting as resistance instead of support. This week's volume a little bit higher than the previous week there, but still nothing to kind of knock your socks off here. And our overall RSI is just a dead stick. I mean, look at how much of a dead stick this is. We are still putting in these lower highs. We are still putting in these higher lows on our weekly RSI and continuing to range in this area. Are we peeking through here? We are, but we're just still sideways. So until we find a little move up in our RSI and still we can get above 50 really on the weekly, that would definitely be notable. We're seeing a bullish cross here in our stochastics, and our MACD still trending higher there. Our chalk and money throw on the weekly still also trending higher. And we see our histogram, our weekly squeeze momentum, is getting very close to going green again. Remember, this has been red pretty much all of 2015. We basically see the unwinding through January, nasty red, and we're basically getting very close here to potentially putting in our first green histogram on our weekly in some time, but it's going to take still a couple more weeks to play out. So remember, weekly candle closes tonight. It has a great opportunity to make it look like a really good looking candle if you can still see some bullish momentum finish up through the day. All right, guys, if you really enjoyed this content, please give me a thumbs up. Remember to follow me on Twitter at Big Chonas. Thank you so much. We'll keep you guys posted on the day's events. Talk to you soon.